Hey there, Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, and I just got done watching Free State of Jones, rated R for language, old language, and also for violence. Lots of guns and things blowing up. So this movie is about a man, Newton Knight. This takes place, actual events that take place. This is about Newton Knight, who fought for the Confederates during the Civil War. Newton was a nurse with the Confederate Army, and basically he got tired of fighting a war for the rich man, as he put it. And he came to this conclusion, he really came to this conclusion after his nephew died in his arms, and his nephew was like 13. So with that, he deserts the Confederate Army, takes his nephew home to be buried at home, and then one thing leads to another. With the Civil War, there was a lot of things that was happening. There was times where families in the North and the South had to give up parts of their living, be it stuff from their fields, be it stuff from their homes, stuff that they made, or just plain money, to the military to continue to allow the boys to continue to fight. And so it's come to the point in Jones County, Mississippi, that the Confederate Army was not taking 10% as they said. They were basically leaving 10%. So at this point, Newt, Matthew McConaughey, has decided enough is enough, and he starts to fight back. And when he does fight back, he becomes the next person on their list to go and get. So he runs off into the swamp where he meets five escaped slaves, makes nice with them, becomes friends, and that's where everything starts to happen, and Newt begins to amass an army, per se, of deserters from the Confederacy and slaves. In all, I think that they ended up with about 200 people that deserted the Confederate Army, came home, just was tired of fighting for, as they put it, a rich man's war. They had nothing in the fight. They were just told to fight. This was a part of history that, I graduated as a history major, and we studied the Civil War. I took a class on it, but we never narrowed right down onto one particular piece like this. This was about Newton Knight and his fight in Jones County, Mississippi, fighting back. And he had just had enough. And basically, he wasn't pro-Union, and he wasn't for the Confederacy, so he aligns himself with the Union, and in the end, the Union doesn't give him what he needs. So that's how Jones County, plus two other counties adjacent, becomes the Free State of Jones. Okay, so what's good about this movie? As filming continues to grow, modern technology continues to be part of these movies. Battles from the past become more and more realistic. Things that happen after someone dies become more realistic. The horrors of war become more realistic. So I really think that we're getting to a point where movies are becoming more and more realistic when they're talking about the history, as opposed to just, here it is, bang, you're dead, fall to the ground. That's reenactment. These are going past reenactment. These are going to, it almost feels like you're there. Now, I wasn't around in the Civil War, but, that's where they're going towards. So that was good. I really think that the acting was really good. I thought for a little while that this movie was in the wrong place, the wrong time release time. I thought that maybe it should have been released in end of November into December for Oscar contention. But here's the part that I didn't like. Um, there was two stories to it. Um, into the movie, you start to get this other story, this courtroom proceeding about the great great grandson of Newton Knight, and is he part black or not? And it's horrible that in the 1950s, where that court case was taking place, that this was something that was being considered. But that's something that was talked about and should have been talked about about our past, but it didn't lend anything to the movie, and I think for a bad part, that wasn't worth it. So, should you go see it? Well, this movie is out for 2 weeks now, I think. Um, I think that you should go see it. I think that if you are a history buff, particularly a Civil War history buff, I think that you should go see this. Um, it was really good acting, really good scenery and action. It just kept moving. It was 2.25 hours long, but it didn't feel like it. So, is this safe for the family? No, no, it's not. There's a couple scenes where guys had faces blown off and hogs were eating them. So no, don't go take the whole family to this. Um, oh, I just remembered one more thing that I disliked. The Chinese were the executive producers on this thing. The American Civil War movie, and it was executive produced by the Chinese. Yeah, let that sink in a little bit. So with that, Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, I think that this is a great movie that you should go and get lost in. And I just got done watching Free State of Jones, rated R. And go find a movie, get lost in it. Thanks a lot, guys.